Welcome back, Alpha Hunters. It is a very magnificent Monday. Hopefully, you had a magnificent weekend. So, we are rapidly approaching earnings season. I believe we should start to get financial earnings towards the end of this week. So, that will be coming really quickly. As far as things that are going on the calendar this week, we get a few things, not a whole lot. We get some import export stuff tomorrow, as well as the balance of trade. People always kind of keep an eye on that, and then not a whole lot. Like we'll get the typical stuff Wednesday, Fed talks, FOMC minutes also Wednesday, but it won't be till Thursday where we'll get CPI. Yes, get CPI. That will be the number for September. So we'll see what that comes in at. And obviously, Thursday we'll also get the initial jobless claims. And then Friday we will get the PPI number as well. So we will get some inflation data towards the end of the week. And we should also, let me just check real quick. JP Morgan Chase will typically be among those to start getting earnings. Yeah, we'll start to get some financial earnings towards the end of the week. JP Morgan Chase there on Friday. So it means like Citigroup and I think Bank of America also start to have earnings towards the end of the week. So, anyways, just keep a mind that we will start to get into earnings season as this week goes on. As far as how things are going today, we had a nice little gap down this morning, about a 0.25% to start the week. All right, there you go. Nothing crazy. You can see we've kind of just traded sideways for the most part on the day. That's just kind of how we were doing right now. Currently down about 0.4%. The Qs, a little bit more moving here on the day. It did gap down roughly 0.4%, a little bit more than a little bit of a sell down there, a little bit of a rip, but hasn't really moved too much from open. Obviously, you can see a little bit of a sell down there coming right now. IWM, nice move down today. Nice little gap down here, about a 0.25% gap down there on the IWM, but you can see the sell downs have been much more aggressive than the buy up. So he sold down pretty strong there first 30 minutes, nice little 15, 20 minute bounce, and then we've been rolling over here the past 45 minutes or so. All right, DIA, nice little gap down, sold down, nice rally. Nice sell down, currently down about 0.4%. RSP also gap down pretty good. Definitely nice sideways action here for first hour or so. Nice little roll down here past 30 minutes. So that's kind of how things look today. Yeah, you definitely have a major line in the sand right here below these wicks that were kind of put in, kind of going back to September 25th and October 3rd. Big reason why if we get below those levels, because we would be below the 20 moving average, 20 EMA there on the daily, on the RSP, and getting below those wicks. So if we get below those, not good. We're gonna have a pretty good pocket to move down to that, at least that 50 EMA there on the RSP. DIA doesn't look as bad, right? DIA doesn't look as bad, even though it's pulling back a little bit. It could just be bouncing here off the 10 EMA. RSP, a little bit breaking there of the 10 EMA, could also bounce by the end of the day. IWM is breaking below that 10 and 20 with that gap down, move lower. Yeah, I mean, we had a pretty good move lower there towards the end of September, last third of September. So maybe that is just a quick bounce that we had. Obviously, it was just a 1 day bounce really on Friday with that huge gap up. So it could have just been a quick bounce. We also just kind of eyeballing this quick little, possible, retesting the upper ends of this downtrend. Yeah, quite possibly. So obviously that's, now that you start to form multiple connections with that, people are really going to start to watch that. So if we can keep that, keep an eye on that downtrending line. If we break above that, you might see IWM going a little bit of a rip there. Qs looks like it's more of kind of consolidating, even though it's gap down. We haven't got really hit all that hard across a lot of these markets, even though we did gap down today. We haven't got a hit aggressively hard. Qs look like consolidating right above that 10 EMA. So unless we roll over and get below that 10 EMA today, I'd imagine we start to push higher here as we go into the rest of the week. That'd just be the way I look at it. Same thing here for the SPY. SPY's not as weak as the RSP, but if we do see some bullishness come in here over the next few days, I mean, it's going to be real easy for the SPY to get back to all-time highs. I mean, we don't have far to go. So that's kind of a quick rundown through the markets. VIX with that higher open on Monday, typical. That is very typical. It's just very interesting spot here for the VIX to kind of open at, just right above the highs of last week. Wow. Could we see a little bit of a pull down, maybe as the market goes bullish, kind of here in the next few days as we go in the later parts of the week? That's very possible. Very possible. I mean, if we go bullish here for like Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and then, or maybe even Tuesday, Wednesday, maybe the SPY hits all-time highs, and maybe we get CPI data, PPI data Thursday, Friday, maybe come back down. Maybe we'll see the VIX just kind of slowly retest into the moving averages as they come up, and then maybe we'll see the VIX kind of push higher. I don't know, something like that. We'll see how it goes. The DXY dollar index, nice, kind of just hanging out today, trying to make up its mind of what it's going to do. It did come to kind of a resistance area, so makes sense that maybe it's just going to hang out, wait to figure out what it's doing. As far as the intraday look, yeah, not really giving us clear direction. Tried to break down early this morning and then just kind of based out. Looks like it's trying to move higher here recently. So maybe we do move higher here by the end of the day, and that would set up pretty nicely to continue higher. Which at that point in time, then, man, I don't know. Maybe you're moving up to this 100 moving average, which would be a little about the 103.3 level. Which that's not a bad little trade move there. So that could definitely happen, because we're not exactly pulling back. So if we do sell down a little bit more, it's going to depend on the close today. If we come back down, I would expect we're going to retest lower and then move higher. If we kind of end towards the highs of the day, or maybe even the highs of Friday, then maybe we just move higher to that 103.3 level. GLD Gold Trust. Look at this pivot pattern, man. Look at this pivot pattern over the past 2 weeks. Looks really, really good. Up here, I'd just continue to be bullish on any kind of dips, consolidations, that kind of stuff. 10-year yield did break this high back from August 8th. Basically sitting right on top of that high of that wick. We have not held over that high yet for the end of the day. So yields moved pretty strong late last week. We'll see if that definitely continues this week. This 4% level is a very important level, so 10 and 2 inversion. 10 and 2 inversion. Basically, just retested the zero line. So we had the breakout a couple weeks back. Over the past week and a half, we've basically just pulled back and have now retested right into that zero line. It took us a little while to get through there. Now we've clearly got through there. Is this just a retest? Now we go higher on the yield curves. Quite possible we're going to get inflation data later this week. That'll be a big one. We'll also get the Fed minutes there Wednesday afternoon. So that will be a big determinant by the end of the week of, are we going to come back and be inverted again, or are we going to continue on the uninverted path higher? Be interesting. HYG, high yield corporate bonds, pretty solid spot to not be bearish. If it wants to continue to move lower, let it move lower. But this is a pretty good top spot that we were kind of eyeballing, the 79.4 level. Yeah, I'd say, hey, you know what? I'll wait on the next look on any kind of possible setups here. But yeah, I mean, it's sitting right on top of these highs. I mean, it's a pretty good spot to just say, hey, you know what? I'll wait. It might move down to the 50 MA, but you know what? I wouldn't want to be a part of that, because it could definitely we broke out higher here back at the kind of middle point of September. This could just be a retest into the into the spot, and then we move higher. So if we do that, I mean, you're not going to see the 50 MA. So it's just like you just want to take your bearish trade off for now. If you did get into this bearish, I think right now you're just kind of wait and see. You'd also be saying, hey, you know what? I do like that idea of this was a breakout. This was a pullback. I do want to be bullish on these tops. You could be looking to be bullish. And it's a pretty simple trade. It's like, hey, you know what? You put your stop loss down here below this low. And then you kind of see how it goes here for the next couple of days. If we come down and we break this 50 EMA, most likely we're going to move down to that low. And you could probably just say, yeah, you know what, I'll just cut it loose there. Anyways, just an idea. LQD continuing to move lower makes perfect sense. Kind of talked about that last week as we kind of just hung out right below that 50 EMA on that gap down on Friday. So not surprised we're moving lower, but I think we are going to be moving to like 111. Obviously, is going to be really close, and then we also are going to have like this high. Will these two levels kind of hold, and we'll see it bounce there? We might have like a short term bounce because we're continuing to move like rapidly lower. So we might see us get down to like this 111 to 110.6 level. Maybe see us bounce, and then maybe see us continue lower to the 100 moving average, something like that. Yeah, that's not shocked we're moving lower. As far as TLT, we basically just got to that level that we were kind of looking for if we broke that 50 MA, which we did middle part of last week. There we go. I would be definitely not bullish or bearish. You could maybe say bullish as we broke higher, we came back, we just retest, so we're basically retesting in a lot of these highs that we've had, and also in the moving averages. So you could probably looking to be bullish. You know, obviously have a stop loss maybe back down below this low from July, and then if we get through like some of these levels, maybe even start to break this one down, you can say, hey, you know, I'm not going to take the full loss. I'm just going to cut it loose. But yeah, pretty good spot to at least take bearish trades off on some of these bonds. There you go. Bonds have moved bearish pretty good here recently. As far as sector rotation for the day, we are seeing energies doing pretty good. There you go, continuing last week's dominance. Healthcare also outperforming pretty good. Tech doing pretty well. Industrials doing pretty good today. Materials underperforming. Communications as well. Financials underperforming. Staples underperforming. Real estate underperforming. Lower end of the day, utilities and discretionaries. As far as how the intraday price actions are going, we got industrials, tech, energies, healthcare, real estate all outperforming. Energy, real estate's kind of an interesting one. Yields doing okay today. Materials slightly underperforming, kind of in line with the market there. Discretionary is underperforming. Communications, financials, staples, utilities, kind of all at the lower end intraday.